Tonight, record 12 sweep for LeBron James.
Can Robin Hood steal the cup from PSG?
The Giro d'Italia returns to home soil.
Players Woods and Mickelson tee up.
And what's good for a Brit is good for a Brit.
Good evening and welcome to Kwese Sports, where we delight, inform and entertain you.
That's right, we are proudly African and we bring you all the latest from the world of sport.
We tip off with NBA thrills as LeBron James continued his red-hot streak against the Raptors with a 128-93 win over the top seeds. The Kings scored 29 points in a 4-0 series victory to complete yet another sweep over the Canadians in the conference semifinals.
So we're excited about being a part of the Eastern Conference Finals once again and have an opportunity to compete for a championship. That is what our goal is. So, we are excited about that. We're humbled about it, and we want to continue to get better throughout this week.
LeBron has now eliminated the Raptors the last 3 seasons.
That's a big part of it. You know, you're looking at probably one of the guys that's going to go down as one of the greatest ever. And, it's a matchup nightmare for anybody. And I think anybody who's played against him will see that. But at some point, that's going to come down. That's going to change.
James extended his number of sweeps in playoffs to 12. That number's the most in NBA history, 3 ahead of Tim Duncan, who's one of 3 Spurs men to feature in the top 5 list. LeBron's numbers this series have been so destructive, they're comparative. In fact, sometimes better than Raptors stars DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry's combined.
The Celtics could have also completed a sweep over the 76ers, but Philadelphia registered a 103-92 home win to set up Game 5. Despite getting one back, Philly still faced an uphill task. In fact, no NBA team has ever won a playoff series after going 3-0 down. Unlike the Raptors, the Sixers fought tooth and nail to avoid defeat, thanks to Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, who combined for 34 points. TJ McConnell, who dropped a further 19, isn't giving up just yet.
It just shows, when they take something away, we're mature enough to go to something else. And even though we were a little immature last game on our home floor, we showed a lot of maturity today and came up with a win. We have nothing to lose. Our coach told us the team that's down 0-3 is usually the team that's winning 0-3 is 129-0. So we really have nothing to lose. We're playing our hearts out and just trying to be that one team.
Action now returns to Boston for Game 5 on Thursday morning, live on KS1. One more slip-up for the 76ers, and it'll be back-to-back Cavaliers versus Celtics conference finals.
In the West, both the Golden State Warriors and the Houston Rockets will be aiming to close out their series against the New Orleans Pelicans and the Utah Jazz, respectively. The Dubs are chasing a 4th straight Western Conference Finals appearance. John is back in the NBA Daily Studios for Arthur Buanikawa today. John, can the Pelicans delay the inevitable?
These playoffs have been sensational, but I tell you what, New Orleans will have to conjure up a spectacular performance to stop yet another Warriors rampage. In fact, with the return of Stephen Curry, the Dubs have looked simply unstoppable. In Game 4, Steve Kerr started with his Hamptons 5 for the first time ever. The starting combination of Curry, Klay Thompson, Andre Iguodala, Kevin Durant and Draymond Green ensured the game was over before it began.
John, Dubs stepping their way to another finals, I'm sure of it. Now, after 12 seasons, Chris Paul has never made it to the conference finals. Will it be lucky number 13 this time?
Well, not everybody has 13 as their favorite number, and CP3 is aiming to ride his luck this time around. Truth be told, Paul has been walking tall against the Jazz and even led all the scorers last time out. With James Harden on his side, this Houston team is bent on accomplishing the number 1 goal set at the beginning of the season: reach the conference finals. Utah's hopes rest on the shoulders of standout rookie Donovan Mitchell. And by the way, Ben Simmons will be hoping Spider finishes with just 1 point.
Well, John, Ben would love that. But I reckon Don has the Rookie of the Year award, even if the Jazz are going home. And that's not for Game 6. So this time tomorrow, Warriors and Rockets final series could be set in stone. The pair's last playoff matchup came 2 years ago in the first round as Houston lost 4-1 to Golden State.
Something that might already be set in stone is the winners of the French Cup. At least on paper, it is. Les Herbiers, who are battling relegation in the French third division, face heavyweights PSG in the final tonight.
In what is already been regarded as the most one-sided final ever, the financial disparity between both clubs speak volumes. Neymar's hourly rate is what every player of Les Herbiers earn in a month. In fact, the team underwent handball lessons to improve their defending ahead of the final.
We risk not having the ball when we play against PSG, as we risk defending at the 16-meter line. We had the idea of handball training as a defensive tactic. Thanks to our goalkeeping coach, who has ample experience with handball, they have shown us how to defend very well in a one-on-one situation, how to manage the space between the lines.
Thiago Silva, who is eyeing a domestic treble, is well motivated to avoid an upset.
I was always very motivated when I played a game against big teams. In Brazil, I played in the second division, and when I played against Internacional, Porto Alegre or Grêmio, it was always motivating. Therefore, we must be aware of the difficulties that we will face at the Stade de France, because they will be very well prepared for the game.
Only cup competitions can provide such lopsided matchups. In absolutely every facet, PSG are superior. Les Herbiers' annual budget would pay Neymar for 16 days, while their Twitter following makes up a third of the town's population. Keeping with showdowns, Swansea and Southampton clash tonight as a battle to escape relegation heats up. With Stoke already down, both clubs will be going for the kill in tonight's season-defining game. With 2 wins in their last 4 home games, Carlos Carvajal has backed his troops for more home domination.
In Liberty, we are more strong. My team play better when we play at home, since you arrived. The fans can make are doing a big impact, and we believe that we can do it on Tuesday. So we depend on ourselves.
Mark Hughes is aiming for more away points after letting a win at Everton slip through in the dying seconds on Saturday.
Come to Goodison under any circumstances is difficult, but we came here, like I said, played well, and actually we've gone away from here out with the bottom 3. So it's only the circumstances of the game that's obviously not affecting us at the moment, but we've got a quick turnaround. We can go again. We were great in my view last weekend. We were great again today. We'll be great again on Tuesday, I'm sure.
If either side wins tonight, West Brom will officially be relegated. So Darren Moore, who's done a phenomenal job since taking over at the Baggies, and his charges will be watching with bated breath, praying for a draw tonight. Who is going to join Stoke? Although at home, the Swans will be wary of Southampton's recent run of form, which has seen them collect 5 points in their last 3 games, while only narrowly losing 3-2 against both Chelsea and Arsenal.
When Stoke were relegated, so were 4 African players. With West Brom, Swansea and Southampton all facing the drop, that number is set to grow. But do you know which African has been relegated the most times? Step forward, Sebastian Bassong. The Cameroonian has been relegated 6 times. The defender, who began life in France, suffered the pain twice with Metz before moving to the Toon with Newcastle United. Relegation woes befell him again in 2009 before switching to Tottenham. He tasted the drop yet again with Wolves, after which he moved to Norwich and bagged another double. Time will tell if he goes for number 7. Sebastian, if you're watching, look away now. Here's the 6 times the Cameroon defender dropped out of the top flight football.
Forever safe from relegation is Franck Ribéry. The Frenchman has also extended his stay at Bayern Munich until 2019. The 35-year-old, who joined from Marseille 11 years ago, is Bayern's longest-serving player.
I always said that I want to finish my career at Bayern Munich. It is a very positive situation for me and for the club, because we have worked well together so far. I hope next season will be good and that we will win the Champions League. We will need a bit of luck, but we need to improve even more to win.
By signing on, the skillful winger has ended speculations surrounding his future, which has seen him linked with moves to Major League Soccer in the US and the Chinese Super League. Since joining the Bavarians, Ribéry has scored or assisted 296 goals in 385 appearances, winning 8 Bundesliga among a haul of 21 major titles, none bigger than the Champions League in 2013. In Portugal, Porto were crowned league champions. Getting tired of seeing arch-rivals Benfica lift the trophy 4 years straight, the Blue and Whites finally lived up to their historic reputation. A draw between Benfica and Sporting ensured Porto of champion status for the first time since 2013. Celebrations amongst the Porto faithful were then sparked by Sunday's 2-1 victory over relegation-threatened Firenze.
A draw between Benfica and Sporting made sure that Porto become champions for the first time since 2013. Celebrations amongst the Porto faithful were sparked by Sunday's 2-1 victory over relegation-threatened Firenze. Sergio Conceição's men have been brilliant this season as they've scored 81 goals, conceding just 18 in 33 matches.
Everyone was really important. I was lucky enough to convince people that I was capable of leading this project, and I worked hard beside my coaching staff to win this title. I'm grateful for having this opportunity to work with such a quality group of people. We have faced some difficulties, and you know it. I don't need to mention them. If we look now to Marega, Abubakar, Ricardo, Henani, they have another status in comparison to the start of the season. Perhaps they were in key figures in other seasons, and now their market value is definitely different.
The battle for second place will continue on Sunday as Benfica and Sporting take on Moreirense and Marítimo respectively.
Porto will have a trio of African stars to thank in Musa Marega, Vincent Abubakar and Yassin Brahimi. They bagged in 46 goals between them. This is Porto's 8th league triumph since the glory days of Jose Mourinho. Mo is most remembered for guiding the Portuguese side to Champions League success. Since he left, 2 quarter-final showings is as good as it's gotten.
The FIFA World Cup now is 37 days away. Switzerland defender Philipp Senderos is already looking forward to the global spectacle while he recovers from a muscle injury at his club, the Houston Dynamos. The former Arsenal man has not featured since 2016 and is a doubt for Vladimir Pekovic's squad.
I mean, the national team is very far away from me at the moment. I'm still recovering from my injury. You know, in football, you never know. I didn't think I was going to get called last time, and I was called. And in football, everything can happen. But at the moment, I concentrate on getting back and playing well for the Dynamo, and that's for me the main focus.
Senderos will be hoping to feature in a remarkable 4th World Cup. He's netted 5 times for Switzerland, including against South Korea at the 2006 showpiece in Germany. As experienced campaigners, the Swiss will be making an 11th World Cup appearance next month in Russia. Since their debut in '34, they have reached the quarterfinals 3 times, the last being as hosts in 1954. Wow, I can't wait for the World Cup. Brazil have won the World Cup 5 times, Germany 4 times, and I think Germany could actually match Brazil in this tournament. But I want entertainment. Hopefully players like Suarez wouldn't be feasting on his fellow professionals this time around.
I love how you're throwing all of those stats. I hope you're doing very well in this Kwese Sports Trivia that we've been giving you the past couple of weeks. I'm not doing so well myself. But last night, we wanted to know which African team became the first to qualify for 2 World Cups in a row. While 48% of you went with A, Nigeria, 13%, including Jean-Pierre Esso, were correct in picking Algeria, who played at 82 and 86 editions. Tonight we want to know who was the first African coach at World Cup. A. Chotali of Tunisia, B. Algeria's Mekloufi, and C and D. Ognibide and Manga Ogwene of Nigeria and Cameroon, respectively. Look out for the poll of the news on Twitter at Kwese Sports.
Up next, the race for the pink jersey returns home.
And the Brits have a sporting style of their own.
EcoBank Mobile.
This is EcoBank Mobile, putting powerful digital banking at your fingertips, letting you open an account using just your mobile, or to send money instantly in and across 33 African countries, to pay bills and top up airtime easily, even to shop in-store cash-free with EcoBank Scan and Pay. EcoBank Mobile. Download it now.
Kumi have created a seamless platform that brings control and monitoring of your health, home and office right to your fingertips. Some call it the Internet of Things. At Kumi, we're just connecting life.
Kumi, connected life.
Back again. Here she comes. The sun is out. It is blazing sunshine. We're on the head-on camera.
What a brilliant run there. Oh my goodness. Broke his ankle.
Only the brave dare take on sevens. The Africa Rugby Sevens on Kwese Free Sports for the fan.
You're watching Kwese Sports News.
Coming to you live every weeknight at 7 p.m. Central African Time.
After an epic first 3 days of the Giro d'Italia in Israel, a rest day on Monday was followed by a return to more familiar roads for the peloton today. BMC's Rowan Dennis beginning the day in the Maya Rosa.
There was some panic in the peloton when one of the riders clipped the barrier just under 7 kilometers from the end, causing a bottleneck on the narrow turning course. That split the group, with those stuck behind the crash losing precious time.
There's a crash. Oh, what has happened here? Numerous riders, Rob, are going to be caught behind it.
Lotto Fixall's Tim Wellens was one of the riders to make it safely through, however. Once what was left of the peloton caught a breakaway by Italian Valerio Conti with 3 kilometers to go, it was all about who could muscle their way up the steep climb to the finish on tired legs. The Belgian proved his power in doing just that, finishing ahead of Canadian Michael Woods, with Enrico Bassiglin holding on for third.
Wellens from Belgium and Lotto. Tim Wellens takes the stage. What a ride by Tim Wellens.
Of course, I'm very happy, especially because it's already the 4th stage. This relieves us from the stress. Now we can go easy in the rest of the Giro. And often when you don't have stress, everything comes easier.
Ever the opportunist, it was a great win for Wellens. GC contender Simon Yates' position in the top 5 riders, seeing him 3rd overall, just 17 seconds down on Dennis, who will wear pink for at least another day.
Tiger Woods is hoping that playing with longtime rival Phil Mickelson will lift his game at this week's Players' Championships. Organizers announced the duo will tee off together at TPC Sawgrass alongside Ricky Fowler. This is the first time Woods and Mickelson have been grouped together for opening rounds since the 2014 PGA Championship. They did play a practice round together at the Masters last month, though.
Oh, yeah, I do enjoy it because we don't get to do it very often. We are normally pair up on the weekend if we are both playing well, and even that's a rarity. We don't get the opportunity to do it very often, and we've been going at it for a better part of over 20 years, and it's fun for both of us to be able to do that.
Jordan Spieth, Justin Thomas and Rory McIlroy will play alongside each other in one of the other featured groups. Head-to-head, Tiger does have the edge over Lefty. He has more majors and Players' Championship titles to his name, although when last playing the event in 2015, he finished in a disappointing tie for 69th.
On the clay courts of Madrid, Novak Djokovic is a happy man after managing a big win in the Spanish capital yesterday. The former world #1 beat Kei Nishikori in straight sets in round of 64 action. Djokovic has struggled this year, failing to reach the quarters of any tournament since returning from an elbow injury in January. His encounter against Nishikori was a battle with neither man at his peak. It was a close first set, but Djokovic edged it 7-5. The second was another close affair before the Serbian managed to prevail in a tiebreaker. While Nishikori himself remains on the comeback trail, it will be a pleasing result for Djokovic. The Japanese made it all the way to the Monte Carlo Masters final against Rafael Nadal a couple of weeks ago. Later tonight, a further player returning from injury is Milos Raonic. The big serving Canadian will face his toughest challenge in a while when he trades forehands with third seed Grigor Dimitrov.
One winning streak was extended while another came to an end as Simona Halep beat Ellis Mertens in their round of 32 clash in the ladies' draw this afternoon.
Halep has won the last 2 tournaments in Madrid and extended her winning streak there to 14 matches after her 6-love 6-3 win over the Belgian. Mertens was on a roll of 13 match wins but had no response for the slick world #1 as she powered to the straight sets victory.
The champion makes it 14 wins in a row in Madrid.
Meanwhile, coming straight from her Prague Open triumph on Saturday, Petra Kvitova continued a streak of her own with a win over wildcard Monica Puig. The 2-time Wimbledon champion had a bit of a wobble in the second set, but managed to steady herself for a 6-3, 7-6 victory.
She finally does it! Petra Kvitova, the 10th seed, extends her winning streak to 7 matches and moves through to round #3.
2 local favourites are expected to advance to the round of 16, Carla Suarez Navarro and Gabin Muguruza, the former with the ominous task of meeting 4th seed Elina Svitolina. They are currently on court and 1 set all.
Over 10,000 runners and wheelchair racers from across the planet took part in the 5th annual Wings for Life World Run. It's a unique concept that takes place simultaneously across 200 locations in 66 countries. The idea sees participants set off at the same time wherever they are in the world. Half an hour later, a catcher car starts chasing runners along the route. It starts slowly, but once it passes a runner, their race is over. Gradually, it speeds up, and the last participant caught is declared the global winner. Most important of all, every cent raised from entry fees and fundraising goes to spinal cord research projects. This year's men's winner was defending champion Sweden's Aaron Anderson, who reached 89.5 kilometers, racing in the USA before being caught.
So tired, but so happy. It means so much that, raising money for spinal cord injuries truly makes a difference. So thanks to everybody for putting this. Oh, that hurts. Thanks to everybody for putting this race up.
Portugal's Vera Nunes won the women's event with 53.78 kilometers in Germany. Africans also put on their running shoes with events taking place in Sudan, South Africa and Mauritius. The top African athlete was South Africa's Renée Grobler, who was racing in Switzerland, while the top African woman was Yolande McLean, who covered 48.2 kilometers in Pretoria.
In NHL action now, the Vegas Golden Knights' remarkable debut season continued with a 3-0 win over the San Jose Sharks in Game 6 of their second-round playoff series. A total of 28 saves by Marc-Andre Fleury was key to his side's impressive win.
It's a tough team, they're relentless. They always have guys in front of the net, so it makes it tough for me trying to find the puck, but happy. This was a tough series. We beat a good team, and proud of the guys the way they played again tonight.
Their first season could not have been scripted any better, with the Knights winning their division and making the playoffs before sweeping the LA Kings. Now they've reached the Western Conference Finals. That makes them just the 3rd NHL team on debut to win multiple series.
And Fleury, the centerpiece of this historic victory. As an expansion team now will march on in a season where it's been one record-setting performance after another.
Other multiple series wins by debuting NHL sides occurred in 1918 and 1968. The 68 team was the St. Louis Blues, who went all the way to the Stanley Cup final. It's been some time since we've seen a team on debut dominating a competition.
On to motorsport, if we can even call it that. It's a sport that is known as the Formula One of the fields, Lawnmower Racing. As with most wacky ideas, this stemmed from a gathering of petrolheads in a pub in England back in 1973. Even the sun came out for the most recent British Lawnmower Championships in the village of Billinghurst. The playing field is levelled by the fact that only minor modifications are allowed.
The point system works very much like Formula One, where you get 25 points per race. So during this meeting, which is over 2 days, we have 4 races, 25 points each, that's 100 points per weekend, and they accumulate over the season, and at the end of the season, whoever's got the most points actually wins.
In case you're wondering, like Formula One, it can be tough on the body.
But if you're going full throttle from the first start to sort of lap 5, you're probably going to start to ache a little bit. So although it's only sprint racing, you still need to pace yourself and not tire yourself out too quickly.
This is looking very competitive to me, Adelani, and I think this is a great place for Formula One drivers to come and retire, or even people, you know, who are retiring out of jobs. Someone like Arsene Wenger, this is something that he could do to, you know, stay competitive.
Yes, yes. Well, if his coaching career is anything to go by, he'll come forth more times than he'll win that competition.
There's something for you to do, Arsene. Go and get it.
And just when you thought it couldn't get more bizarre, we bring you some more crazy Brits. This time a Welshman who caused quite a stir when he showed up at a press conference stark naked before the World Snooker Championships. Mark Williams said if he won, he'd attend the presser without any clothes. The 43-year-old stuck to his word after claiming an unexpected third world title in Sheffield.
Yeah, it's an unbelievable story, really. 12 months ago, I was thinking about chucking it. Here I am, doing an interview, just won the 2018 World Championship. Bollock naked. To be honest, if I won this next year, I'd do it again. I'd come a cartwheel down there naked next year.
That's it from us tonight. For online video content, be sure to check out our YouTube channel. Just search for Kwese Sports TV.
You can also tweet us at Kwese Sports using the hashtag Kwese News and follow us on Facebook at Kwese Sports.
To keep yourself up to date with all the latest sporting news, visit our website at kwese.espn.com.
Catch us again tomorrow for the very latest in the world of sports.
From all of us here at Kwese Sports News, have a fabulous evening.